Hey guys, we're continuing right where we left off on our first exercise. So pretty much at the first exercise, at the end of our first exercise, we were here. We had all our exterior walls finished. And I wanted to show you guys what we ended up finishing. So if we were to look at it realistically, which is down here, you could see how this wall itself has siding. All of it is already drawn for you. Something that you cannot readily do in AutoCAD. I'm going to go back to the first floor plan. I can go into the project browser, or I have the tab open here. So I'm going to go ahead and click there. So this is where we left off. Now I'm going to be getting all the interior walls from page 456. So one of the key ways I want to show how to draw walls, again, every video should be learning something new. Under the architectural tab, we can go under the wall, or we're going to type in WA. That's our shortcut. We're going to be selecting interior 4.5-inch partition. So we're looking at 3.5-inch stud with a 1/2-inch gypsum board on each side. Now, I could draw the walls accurately, but trust me, since we're replicating the building, it is easier to just draw what you know, how the walls will look like. So this is what the walls would look like. Have I measured anything? Nope. I'm just making sure it looks or mimics the same shape. I'm going to just go ahead and draw here, 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 draw a wall across from here. And notice this is wall center line. I have not done anything different for this. Drawn this across, and that's all we have. These are all our interior walls as of now. Actually, we have few more, so WA, and it'll go back, default back to the last wall type, and we have several walls that do this. And I just do the random shapes for it. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to use DI. So DI, to dimension all your interior walls, I'm going to hit tab, where I cache the exterior. Again, cycle through tab to get your selection. So again, as I come on this side, I tab and select this side, and I pull this dimension string up. Now, one of the things that you can do is whenever you select a wall, you have what's called temporary dimensions pull up. So I can manipulate these walls by simply changing these dimensions. So since I created that string, I can say that needs to be 12/7, and it becomes that. It's not that I overrided the text. It's actually changed the wall distance altogether. I'm going to go ahead and do DI again, tab to cycle to the exterior finish or the exterior of the wall. And then I have 410 here. Well, I can select this wall and simply change that 2'8". Notice how all of these dimensions are being updated as we go in live. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull a string from here, tab, select the interior face, select the interior face here, and then select the interior face of this closet here. Now what I want is this wall to be 2 foot 9.5 away. So 2 feet dash 9.5 inches. Enter. And then same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 3 foot dash 1.5 inches. Enter. So now that I have that, that covers all my walls. Let's get the full length of the wall. I'm going to again cycle to the interior face. I was easily able to select here because there was only one option. I don't want to go to the center of the wall. Tab, and I go to the interior. So that wall length should be 8'7". 8'7 inches. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is much faster to locate your walls first. And you see this temporary dimension here that says 8'6". I can click on this icon here and make this temporary dimension a permanent dimension by simply selecting here. It's 8'6", but I want that temporary dimension to go from the interior face. So I'm going to take the middle of the witness line. This is the witness line. And then I'm going to tab select until I get to the center of the wall or to the interior face of the wall. So from here, I can select the wall again, and you can see how it says 8'3" from here, and that temporary dimension is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to say 7'11". So now that I have that temporary dimension done, that should be exactly where this whole wall section should be. And I'm going to leave these temporary dimensions there for your reference. Now I'm going to go ahead and start measuring this room. I'm going to tab, select the exterior face of this wall to the interior face of this wall. Select the wall and make sure that this thing, select the wall here and make sure that this thing is actually 8 foot 1 inch. Now, one of the things that you have the tendency to do is to actually select this wall to change the dimension of this wall. It's in fact this wall that dictates this dimension because it's reading it as how far this wall is away from this wall. Again, we're thinking construction anytime you do Revit. So DI, I'm going to go ahead, go from the exterior face here, use tab to cycle through the selection. I can zoom in and see if I'm getting the exterior most line. It will snap to it by default. Tab here, and then I have this wall here. Now that dimension should also be 7 foot 11. So let's go ahead and move this wall over. Change this to 7 foot. $11. And then lastly, I think for these walls, all we need to know is how big is this wall. So I'm going to DI, go from here to the inside face there. And I'm going to select this wall and make sure that that thing is 5 foot 4 inches away. So 5 feet, 4 inches away. Now we have this wall in question. So these walls are locked as well. 8 foot 1, locked from the exterior. There we go. And now here, let's go ahead and locate this wall. See how this temporary dimension is? I could work with the temporary dimension, but I personally like to create my own dimensions whenever I'm doing it. So that way I know exactly how far I'm drawing each wall to be. Again, we're using the DI command and hitting tab and selecting the walls that we need. Again, select the interior face, select there, and we can pull the string out just that far. Select the wall. Here, it should be 11 foot 9 inches. That's that. Now let's get the full length of the wall. I'm going to DI again, tab, select the interior face to the interior face. So that's 9 foot 9. We're going to go ahead and select the wall and make it 12 foot 3. So 12 foot dash 3 inches. Now that I have this wall, all we have left is these walls here. For this particular circumstances, I'm going to use under the Modify tab, Modify panel, select the Align tool, and just simply align these two walls together. I can select the exterior face. Now how I'm using Align is I can use AL to use Align, tab, and select what you want to align to first, then select the edge you want to align to that. So the first thing is the reference. The second thing is where is it going to align to. Now, for this particular case, I'm going to align the interior face of this wall to the interior face of that wall. And so for this one, align this to that. So now that I have that, these walls are pretty much completely aligned. Now we're going to learn a new command. So under the Architectural tab, under Work Plane, we can draw a reference plane. Now, normally, these reference planes are there to make a building symmetrical. They can be something you align to, adhere to. You can name your reference plane. This could be curtain glass wall, something that you are using as a guide. This will appear on your drawing as like a center line or symmetrical line. In this case, I want this to be equally spaced apart. What I can do is I can DI and dimension from here, tab, and it's 1 foot 9 3/4. I'm going to be shifting this wall over so where it's 3 foot 2. So I'm going to go ahead and shift this and say 19, let's say 19 inches, because that would be 1 foot 7. and that will result in 3'2". And I can dimension across from the center line here, tab, select there, and that wall should be 1'7". So the overall dimension that I have, DI, from exterior face to exterior face is 3'2", just like the book has it, but we centered it. So now that we got these walls completely centered to the reference line and it's 3'2", I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that my wall here is aligned. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in some components. Now, these components don't normally exist in the model. They can be created, but for the sake of time, I've created it for you. You're gonna go under the Insert tab and Load Family. Now, for you guys will probably have to download these. These are provided in the description below. But for me, I already have it in my download folder, and this is where you're gonna have it once you download it. So mine's gonna be called Masonry Chimney Wall at Cabin. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that in, and I can select Open. And I'm gonna go through the same process, going under the Insert tab, Load Family, and I'm gonna bring in this Mantel 1. So once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and press Open again. So I have these two components. What do I do with them? So the first thing is, it's gonna be our fireplace. So under the Architectural tab, under Build Panel, we're gonna select Components. But if you wanna do a shortcut, is CM. So that's Components. My components automatically default and just pop up. But for the ones that actually just got the chimney, we're gonna go ahead and look at the masonry wall chimney cabin. This is something that we just got in. And it's gonna be host to a wall. And we're gonna try to center it to the actual fireplace that we have. And if it doesn't center properly, let's say we have the fireplace here, all I want you to do is once you place it along the wall, you're gonna use the AL align command and tab select to the interior face of the wall of the fireplace and just align the chimney to it. And all I want you to do at this point is, if you want to look at what it looks like in 3D, this is what I have brought in. So this is something that I've modeled as a family, and this is equivalent to a block in AutoCAD. So this is what we have. Again, I could spend the time on teaching you guys how to draw that, but again, this is just to quickly understand how to use Revit. Now we're going to go back to the first floor, and we're going to bring in our mantle. So under the Build panel, select Components, and we're going to go ahead and come under here to our mantle. The mantle we're using is 74 inches by 5 3/4. This is the size that would fit perfectly in this fireplace. Using the spacebar, you can rotate your mantle. You want these two little discs up here to be pointing out. Center it to your fireplace. Click it in. You brought it in. Now we're going to go ahead and look at it in 3D one more time. This is your fireplace, all decked out, finished. Of course, your walls need to go all the way up, and your interior walls are all in. So this is how your project's going to look. With that said, that concludes exercise for all the interior walls. Follow for more content.